Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second session of the iOS Design Challenge. We're going to start the session right now, so please ensure that you invite your friends if they didn't join till now. All right, so first of all, before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hanan Hassan. I am an Apple Professional Learning Specialist and an Apple Distinguished Educator. Currently, I'm working as a head of instructional technology in one of the Ministry of Education schools in Abu Dhabi. So during this session, we want to ensure that all of you are aware of the iOS Design Challenge expectations, submissions, and important deadlines. And also, we will dig deeper in Figma and we will answer all your questions. All right, as we all know, this year we are focusing on sustainable development goals, and your app idea should target one of these goals. Of course, we have a lot of goals, but we will be focusing on 4 goals: the quality education, affordable and clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and finally the climate action. هلا بدي ترجم وبدي احكي بالعربي. اهلا وسهلا فيكم جميعا. انا كثير مبسوطه لاني معكم اليوم. اسمي حنان حسن. أنا مدرب معتمد من أبل وبشتغل حالياً بوحدة من المدارس الحكومية بأبو ظبي. طبعاً خلال هيدي السيشن راح نركز على كل الأشياء اللي كطلاب لازم تسلموها. هي أول شغلة. راح نحكي عن مواعيد التسليم، هي تاني شغلة. وراح كمان راح يكون في معنا اكسبرت بيعلمكم أكثر عن تطبيق فيجما، هي ثالث شغلة. وآخر شيء أكيد راح نجاوب على كل أسئلتكم، بس طبعاً بنهاية السيشن. مثل ما أنتم عارفين، نحن هاي السنة التركيز على الأهداف أو الهدف العام تبع الاي او اس ديزاين تشالنج أو تحدي تطبيق هو تنمية الاستدامة، يعني التركيز على الاستدامة. نحن في عنا كتير أهداف هاي السنة للاستدامة، رح نركز على 5 أهداف منها لحتى نصنع التطبيق تبعنا يكون يخدم وحدة من هاي ال5 أهداف. فمثلا أول هدف رح يكون تحسين جودة التعليم، ثاني هدف توفير الطاقة بتكلفة معقولة، ثالث هدف بناء مدن ومجتمعات مستدامة، بعدين عندي ترشيد الاستهلاك أو الإنتاج المسؤول كمان، وآخر شيء عندي اتخاذ إجراءات للتصدي لتغيير المناخ اللي كل دول العالم عم بتعاني منه. هيدا الكيو ار كود ممكن ياخدكم وتعرفوا أكثر عن ال Sustainable Development Goals. So this QR code available on my screen can, if you scan it, you will be able to read more about the Sustainable Development Goals. All right, هلا let's talk about the group structure, which is very, very important. So each group should consist of 1 to 4 students. And as we all know, any successful app has a great team behind it. So it's very important to know how to distribute the workload between the 4 of you, if you are 4. طبعاً, it can be from 1 to 4. So for example, we have a coder turning ideas into code. We have also designers creating the app's look and feel. We should have also a strategist, business strategist, who is ensuring the app meets people's needs and expectations. Finally, we should have the project manager who ensures that to organize all the tasks. أول شغلة بدي أقولها هي المجموعة اللي عم تشتغل على هيدا المشروع. نحن بنقدر نكون طالب إلى 4 طلاب، وكتير مهم تقسيم المسؤوليات بين هاي ال4 طلاب. فلازم يكون عندي حدا هو مسؤول عن البرمجة، لازم يكون عندي حدا مسؤول عن التصميم، لازم يكون عندي شخص كمان مسؤول عن اللي هو الاستراتيجيات اللي لها علاقة انه نعرف نحن المجتمع اللي حوالينا شو المطلوب، شو الابليكيشنز المطلوبة اكثر شيء. واخر شيء اكيد لازم يكون في مدير للمشروع لحتى يتأكد انه كل الاشياء انجزت بالاوقات اللي لازم تنجز فيها. So also, I would like to ensure that the participants in this challenge needs to be 13 years old by August 31, 2024. And also, if you turn 19 during the 2024 academic year, of course, you can participate. نقطة كتير مهمة بدي أقولها إنه الطلاب اللي بدهم يشتركوا لازم يكونوا 13 سنة، طبقوا 13 سنة بشهر 8 31/8/2024. وكمان إذا بصير عمرك 19 خلال هاي السنة الأكاديمية ممكن إنك تشترك. وآخر شغلة, the last thing I would like to mention that it is like UAE nationals can participate and also residents can participate. So المواطنين والمقيمين في الدولة فيهم يشاركوا بهيدا التحدي. All right. One of the most important things that you need to know, it's about all the assignments and all the things that you need to do during this challenge. So first of all, the work on, you need to work and deliver all the activities found in the learning management system. So there are many activities. You need to work on all of them and deliver and submit all of them. The second thing is you need to design and build an application prototype and submit it. The third thing, create and submit a 3-minute pitch video. Then you need to attend all guest speaker sessions and finally complete your tasks in the app journal. هلا رح احكيهم بالعربي. اهم شغله لازم تعرفوها شو هن الاشياء اللي انتم مسؤولين انكم تسلمون خلال هيدا التحدي. اول شيء في كتير متطلبات موجوده على المنصه الخاصه بهيدا التحدي، فلازم تشتغلوا على كل هيدي الاشياء الموجوده ولازم تسلموها. الشغله الثانيه لازم تعملوا تصميم وتبنوا كمان تطبيق، طبعا تطبيق بدون برمجة، يعني بس الشكل التطبيق ولازم تسلموه. لازم كمان تشتغلوا على فيديو مدته 3 دقائق تحكوا فيه عن التطبيق تبعكم. طبعا هيدا الفيديو كتير مهم لأنه لازم تشرحوا فكرة التطبيق تبعكم وتحكوا عنه بالتفاصيل كيف رح يحل المشكلة الموجودة اللي هي لها علاقة بالاستدامة. وآخر شيء في شيء اسمه اللي هو الاب جورنال اللي هي مجلة التطبيق. هيدي فيها كتير مهام لازم تخلصوها كلها وتسلموها. Alright. Now, هلأ بالنسبة للجدول الزمني للبرنامج، نحن حاليا بجانيوري فبروري بشهر 1 و2 في عندي الجلسات الخبراء اللي هيدي وحدة منهم. في معنا خبير بفيجما رح يحكي بالسيشن ويشرح لكم أكثر عن فيجما. تاني شغلة، تقديم التحدي رح يكون بشهر 4. اليوم بعده غير محدد بس بآخر شهر 4. وآخر شيء الإعلان عن الفائزين رح يكون بشهر 5. So this is the program timeline. We have from January, between January and February, we have all the expert sessions and it's for everyone. On April, we have the end of April, actually, we have the challenge submission, and we will inform you about the date later on. And on May, we will announce the winners. All right, let's talk now about the guest speaker sessions. Guest speaker sessions, we have 14 of February from 5:30 to 7. We have the UX, UI, the design. And on 28th of February, we have the accessibility session, which is from 5:30 to 7. And on 13th of March, we have the pitch your solution session, which is from 3 to 4:30. هودي أهم الجلسات الخبراء اللي لازم تحضروهم اللي كنا عم نحكي عنهم. ب 14/2 من الساعة 5:30 للساعة 7 رح يكون في جلسة مع خبير عن كيفية التصميم. ب 28/2 من 5:30 للسبعة رح يكون عندنا جلسة عن الاكسسبيليتي أو إمكانية الوصول بالعربي. وب 13/3 من الساعة 3 للساعة 4:30 رح يكون عندنا جلسة عن كيفية إخراج الفيديو تبعكم. All right. One of the most important things is social media showcase. So it's very important to post on social media. Here, I want you to see the hashtags that you need to include. So whenever you finish your video, you need to upload it to social media. It could be TikTok or Instagram, but you need to include all the hashtags available here on this page. And of course, this is just a sample. You can have a look at it. And here, I would like to share with you on the next slide, samples from the videos submitted by other students on the same challenge. So هلا النقطة الثانية اللي كتير مهمة إنه لازم تحطوا الفيديو على السوشيال ميديا تبعكم، ولازم تستخدموا طبعا هو بده يكون تيك توك ستايل فيديو، بده يكون 3 minutes، وفيكم تحطوه على انستغرام او على تيك توك، ولازم تستخدموا الهاشتاجز اللي موجودين بهي الصفحة. هلا رح نحكي عن بالسلايد اللي جاي رح نحكي عن رح فرجيكم على يعني فيديوهات انعملت من طلاب آخرين شاركوا بهيدا التحدي. All right, so I want all of you to listen to this video and watch this video. بدي إياكم كلكم تشوفوا فكرة هيدا الفيديو. عندي أكثر من sample. I have more than one sample and I would like to share this one with you.
You know that the world population reached 8 billion people? Crazy, right? It serves as a reminder that we need to take a closer look at how we consume resources in order to guarantee the best quality of life for everyone. But how can we meet our current needs without compromising future generations? Recognizing this critical issue, world leaders came together in 2015 and adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, a collection of 17 goals aimed at addressing the global challenges we face, such as
Okay, I would like to watch with you the second video.
We live at a time when education has the power to transform lives, break barriers, and build a better future. But did you know that millions of children still lack access to quality education? SDG 4, which stands for Sustainable Development Goal 4, focuses on quality education. It's not just about reading and writing, it's about empowering minds and shaping a better future for all. Let me break it down for you. SDG 4 aims to ensure inclusive and equitable education for everyone. That means no one gets left behind. Quality education promotes gender equality and empowers people to break the cycle of poverty. But how can we contribute to this goal? Support organizations working towards quality education. Your small actions can make a big impact. Also, my team is working on a project to raise awareness about the quality of education, and we made progress using apps like Figma and Swift Playground to design the project. Remember, education is the key to a brighter future. Share this video to spread awareness about SDG 4. Together, let's make quality education a reality for all.
All right. So it's actually a beautiful example. Now, winners of the iOS Design Challenge will get a new Mac, will have 180 hours of coding instruction and project work. They will have access to design and coding resources. They will have also the Apple Pro level certification, and they will have the opportunity to publish an app on the App Store. All right. So شو اللي هن رح يربحوا بجائزة التطبيق؟ الأشياء اللي رح يستلموها رح تكون ماك طبعاً. رح يكون في 180 ساعة تدريب على البرمجة وعلى كمان المشاريع. رح يكون في تصميم، يعني دخول لتصاميم ولبرامج لها علاقة بالبرمجة. كل هيدي الأشياء رح يكون في دخول لكم عليها. رح يكون في لكم شهادة بمستوى أبل برو، وأكيد رح يكون في فرصة لنشر التطبيق على متجر التطبيقات، وأكيد كلنا بنتمنى أنه نحظى بهيدي الفرصة. All right, so now we will have an expert which will dig deeper in Figma, and I would like to introduce you to YJ. YJ is a co-founder at Tinker Academy, a technology and education company in Singapore, where he helps build and design apps, curriculum, and the next generation of coders and makers. He's an Apple professional learning specialist, and he's a certified Apple trainer. Over to you, YJ.
Thank you very much. So let me share my screen. Give me a moment, and we will get started right now. Okay, all right. Hello, everyone. My name is YJ. Thank you so much, Hanan, for the introduction. And I think what's going to happen is I will try to pause every now and then so that Hanan can help translate to Arabic. I do seek everyone's patience because this will take a bit of time, but hopefully it gives you some time to digest what we're saying, and you can ask questions in the Q&A.
alright, so خلال هيدي السيشن رح يكون في أوقات للترجمة، يعني واي جي رح يعطي الأشياء وأنا رح ترجمها، فرح يكون في وقت شوية انتظار يعني. Yes, YJ.
Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you need to know is that we're using Figma, and I think I saw a question in the Q&A about how to use Figma. There are a few ways. The easiest way to use Figma is to go to the website, and the website is just figma.com. If you are on an iPad and you downloaded the Figma app, you will find that it does not very much. That's because you need to open the Figma website in Safari on iPad. The iPad app is just for viewing prototypes. So that's something I thought we should clarify for everyone. If you are on a Mac or a Windows machine or even a Chromebook, you can just go to the website. They have a desktop app, but you can just use the website for just about everything.
All right, so في سؤال كان عن كيف نحن بنستخدم فيجما. فيجما بكل سهولة فيكم تدخلوا على الويب سايت اللي هو figma.com وعن طريقه تستخدموا فيجما. في طريقة تانية اللي هي تنزلوا الابليكيشن إذا كنتوا عم تستعملوا الآيباد، بس الابليكيشن نحن ما بننصح أنكم تستعملوها. أفضل حتى من الآيباد تروحوا على سفاري وتدخلوا على figma.com. فيها أشياء أكتر وأسهل، يعني الابليكيشن تستعمل بس لحتى تشوفوا مش لحتى تعملوا المحتوى. Yes, YJ.
That's great. You see a second link on my screen, which says figma.com/education. As all of you are students, you can actually get all the features of Figma for free if you sign up at this website. You don't really have to. I think you can get by without signing up, but it's free and the approval is quite fast. So if you have a chance, please go ahead. The free version lets you have, I think, a few projects. And if you want to have more projects, maybe for your own things in the future, yeah, just go sign up for the education site.
Alright, so لحتى تاخدوا فيجما اللي هي الفري اللي هي بدون دفع أو بدون اشتراك الكاملة للإديوكيشن اللي هي للتعليم. فيكن can you please show the link again. yeah. فيكم تاخذوا اللينك الثاني اللي هلا رح يحطه على السكرين اللي هو figma.com/education. هيدا بيعطيكم اكسس كامل، دخول كامل على فيجما، مش بس 2 أو 3 بروجكتس. فاذا بدكم فيكم تاخذوا هيدا اللينك وتعملوا الاكونت تبعكم اللي بيحمل كثير مشاريع. alright.
Okay, so from here, I'm just going to switch over to Figma and I'm just going to get started. So when you first go to Figma, you're going to be asked to sign up, and you can sign up with your Google account. You can sign in with an email address, but I'm going to show you, having skipped past that part, what the Figma is like and how you might want to use it to build your app prototype.
alright. so فيكن تدخلوا على فيجما. أول شيء لازم تعملوا ساين اب. الساين اب اللي هو الدخول ممكن يكون عن طريق الجوجل اكونت اللي عندكم، وممكن يكون بطريقة تانية، وهو هلأ رح يفرجينا الأشياء اللي لها علاقة بالتطبيقات.
So I'm going to start by creating what's called a design file. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see. Okay. So over here, you see on the top right-hand corner, there's a design file. So I'm going to click on that. And what that creates for me is a very simple little canvas where I can create my design.
اوكي سو اول شيء بدنا نضغط على create design file اللي هي موجوده فوق على اليمين. بس تضغطوا عليها بتفتح لكم مكان فاضي، كانفاس بنسميه، لحتى تبلشوا الديزاين فيه او التصميم بهيدا المكان.
So once you're in here, let's say you are trying to create a prototype to demonstrate how your app works. The first thing I want to point out to you is this row of icons over here. I would like you to take a look, and you can just leave your mouse and hover over them, and they will show you what each of them are. Okay, so you can see over here, there's a move tool, there's frame, there's rectangle, and some of them have arrows next to them. So if you click on the arrow, you can choose from something else that's related to the icon. So I'm going to choose a frame, and I'm going to select one of these frames. So since this is the iOS design challenge, I'm going to choose one of the iPhones. I'm going to click on it, and it will give me an iPhone screen on my canvas.
alright. سو بالجهة اليسرى من فوق رح تلاقوا اللي هي إعدادات وأشياء ممكن تستعملوها خلال التصميم. فبعض منهم في مثل سهم صغير إذا بتفتحوه بتلاقوا أشياء أكتر. فأول شغلة بدنا إياكم تجربوا مثلا تضغطوا على الآرو وتشوفوا الأشياء اللي موجودة. بعدين بدنا إياكم تختاروا فريم. أيوة، لما تختاروا الفريم اللي هو هيدا المربع الأول مش الثاني، بتلاقوا على جهة اليمين في عنا كتير نماذج اللي هي لها علاقة بشكل الآيفون. بما أنه نحن عم نحكي عن تصميم تطبيق، فرح نختار وحدة من هيدي النماذج.
So I'm going to show you how to make a very simple prototype. It will not look very good, but it's just a very rough one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a screen that the user sees when the app starts. So this might have an icon. So I'm just going to click on the arrow next to rectangle, put a star in the middle of the screen. So I'm just going to draw. You just click and drag. And when I'm done, I will move it around. And there will be all these guiding lines to help me keep it centered on screen. Okay. So if anyone has used Keynote or any presentation tools like that, it's not very different. It's just a simple little app for you to place things on screen. On the right-hand side, there is an inspector, which changes depending on what you click on. So if I click on the screen, you will see that it's got information about the page. If I click on the star, you will see that it's got information about the star. If I want, I can make it bigger by changing the numbers here, or I can drag the handles just like I would in Keynote and many other apps. If I want to change the color, there is a fill property over here. And if you click on it, you get a nice color picker. So you can change the color. And you can even do gradients. I'll leave you to figure this out on your own. You can change it such that it's a color, many gradients inside here. And you can change the transparency. You can do all kinds of interesting things with your colors over here.
alright so هلا هو فرجانا كيف عم يعمل نموذج أولي للتطبيق. ضغط على المربع واختار ستار، حط الستار بوسط الصفحة yes and بعد ما نحط الستار في عندي أنا guiding lines بنسميها اللي هي بتحدد لي منتصف الصفحة بشكل أفقي وبشكل عمودي، فمن هون بتقدروا تحركوهم وتتحكموا بالمركز تبع هيدا الشكل اللي انتم اخترتوه. طبعا اللي بيستخدم الكينوت نفس الفكرة يعني لما نستعمل الأشكال. الشغلة الثانية لما بنضغط على الستارت على الجهة اليمنى بقدر أنا أشوف أشياء بقدر أتحكم فيها، وإذا بضغط على ما وراء الستار اللي هي الباك جراوند، إذا بضغط على الباك جراوند if I click the background I will be able يعني راح أقدر إني أتحكم بأشياء لها علاقة بالباك جراوند أو بالخلفية. هلا إذا ضغطنا على الستار مرة تانية على جهة اليمين بقدر غير اللون للون اللي بدي اياه، حتى بقدر ادمج لونين مع بعضهم، وبقدر غير كثير اشياء موجوده بهي الصفحه اكيد رح تكتشفوها مع الوقت.
Okay, so this is how you can adjust what your things look like on screen. You can add as many shapes as you want, but when you add many shapes, some of them might show up above and below others. So I'm going to add a rectangle, and this rectangle is gray. I want it to be perhaps behind the star. I'm going to make it bigger. And now how do I move it behind? That's when I introduce you to the left side of the screen with the layers. I'm just going to drag this thing underneath the star. Okay, so I'm going to drag it underneath, and when I let go, it will be behind. So the things that are closer to the top, closer to you, are on top of the layers. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to change the fill. I'm going to change it to some different color over here. Okay, let's make it a gray background. Okay, and I'm going to add a piece of text. I'm just going to call this star app. Okay, as you can see, it's a very small piece of text. And what I can do is, again, there are all these properties. I can change the font size, 72. I can change the font. I can change whether it's bold. And I can, of course, change the position. Okay, so it's really easy to use. I think you should have no problem putting things on screen.
Yeah. الشغله الثانيه اللي فرجانا عليها هو انه فيكم تحطوا اشكال قد ما بدكم، بعد ما تسحبوا الشكل وتحطوه تقدروا تتحكموا مين رح يبين بالاول ومين رح يبين ورا عن طريق انكم تغيروا هي الطب اللي على الجهه اليسرى عن طريق انكم تسحبوا. مثلا اذا كنتم مختارين المستطيل تسحبوه بترفعوه لفوق بصير هو قدام، اذا بدكم النجمه قدام تسحبوا هاي الطبقه وبتحطوها فوق. كمان فيكم تغيروا الألوان وفي أشياء كتير، حتى فيكم تحطوا كتابة وفيكم تكبروا الكتابة مثل ما بدكم وتغيروا لونها.
Okay, so let me just make another version just to demonstrate again. And let me put a text one more time, and maybe this time I can put it inside my black color image. Okay, so this is supposed to be what your screen looks like. Okay, so if you have a trackpad, you can use your fingers to pinch and zoom, or if not, you can press a keyboard shortcut, which is Command minus and Command plus, or if you're Windows, Control minus and Control plus, and you can zoom in and out. Okay, so this is the beginning of an app. So maybe I want the whole thing to take up the full screen. Okay, so this is my star app. Okay, so this is my first screen. Now let's go make a second screen. Once again, I'm going to go up here, click on the frame tool. If you notice, there's a keyboard shortcut called F. If I type F, right, let's say I'm over here. If I type F, it will select this for me. And I can click on this, and it will give me another screen right next to my current one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate this screen, and I'll just add a few more things to this screen while Hanan goes ahead and does the translation for this part.
يا اوكي سو هلا رح نعمل بما انه نحن عم نحكي عن تصميم تطبيق، فانا لازم انتقل من شاشه لشاشه. فالشاشه الاولى اللي عملها هي الشاشه الاساسيه تبع التطبيق. هلا عم نعمل الشاشه الثانيه بنفس الطريقه، ضغط على المربع ورسم، اختار من الرايت سايد نفس الشيء وحطها، وهلا بلش يصمم الشاشة الثانية اللي بدها تاخدنا من أول شاشة لثاني شاشة.
Okay, so what I've done is I've just made some rectangles, and as you can see, I'm just moving them around. One thing you'll notice is that these rectangles, this rectangle 2, it's inside my second screen. Rectangle 3 is inside my second screen, but rectangle 4 has moved out. So just be aware of the layers. You just need to move it back inside, and it's going to be cut off at the end. Okay, so this will help you make sure that your screens look good when you are designing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go put some images inside here. Okay, so I'm just going to go online and search for, let's say this is an app about constellations. So I'm going to go search for an image. I'm going to save this image, save image to my downloads folder. Okay, and if I want to put the image inside here, I'm going to go to the fill again, choose this image fill, and I'm going to click here to choose the image. So I'm going to go to my downloads, grab this image, press open, and it's going to be inside. Okay, so you're going to want to do this for your apps because you want your apps to look convincing. You want your apps to look like it's an app that someone is actually using. So you should go and find some images from online, or you can design your own images. Some of you are going to be pretty good at drawing and designing. So feel free to use your own images and put them inside the app. Okay, so over to Hanan, and I'll go ahead and demo that one more time. Yeah.
شغلة كتير مهمة ذكرها إنه على الجهة اليسار نحن عنا شاشتين. داخل كل شاشة مبين عندي أنا الأشكال اللي حطيتهم. كتير مهم إذا كان في شكل برا وبدكن إياه جوا شاشة معينة تسحبوه وتحطوه جوا. هاي شغلة كتير مهمة. تاني شغلة ذكرها وجدا مهمة إنه بتقدروا ترفعوا صورة. فيكم تروحوا على الإنترنت تبحثوا عن أي صورة بدكن إياها، تنزلوها تسيفوها بأي مكان، وبعدين تضغطوا على المربع. أيوة، تضغطوا على المربع وتختاروا الصورة، وبعدين تختاروا الصورة من المكان اللي سيفتوها فيه وترفعوها. هاي شغلة جدا مهمة وأنا بعتبرها أساسية بالتصميم النموذج، إنه فيكم بدل ما تنزلوا صورة فيكم أنتوا ترسموها. أكيد في منكم كتير بحبوا الرسم والتصميم، فيكم تصمموها وترفعوها على شاشة من الشاشات اللي أنتوا رح تستخدموها بالتطبيق. أكيد بتطلع كمان أحلى وأحلى.
Okay, so with that, I've created like this might be an app that's for people who enjoy looking at stars, for example. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in some words over here. So this might be star map 1, and I'm going to change the font size down a bit. So you are going to have to be the ones who decide what font sizes you choose. Okay, and you're going to perhaps this is maybe you can have taken in 2011, and this is going to be a smaller size and maybe a lighter font. Okay, so it's beginning to look a little bit like an actual app, and that's what you are trying to create on your end.
اوكي كمان ضاف بعض الكلمات لحتى يبين التطبيق حقيقي اكثر. وكتير مهم انه تشتغلوا على التصميم لحتى يبين مقنع ويخدم الفكرة اللي انتم بدكم تعملوها. فعادي اشتغل على الكلمات، لونها، غير لها الستايل تبعها، كبرها، صغرها، بكل سهولة عمل كوبي بيست. كل هيدي الاشياء موجودة وبتقدروا تستعملوها.
So here I am. I'm just instead of writing a new one, I can always copy and paste. So I can press right click here, copy, and down here I can just paste here. Okay, I don't know where I pasted, so I'm just going to have to do that again. There's another way of copy and pasting. If you have a Mac, it's you hold down the Option key, or if you have Windows, you hold down Alternate, and you just drag from your original one, and it will let you create a new one. So that's duplicate. So I'm just going to change this to 2005. Okay, so far so good. Hope we have everyone so far. And I'm just going to make one more screen. Okay, just one more screen. And this screen is really just another screen that you want to demonstrate to your users. So I'll let Hanan do her magic and translate here, and while I go create another screen.
اوكي هو هلا بده يعمل بعد شاشة وحدة قبل ما يفرجينا كيف رح نربط الشاشات ببعض، وحكى عن الكوبي والبيست قبل اللي هو إذا كنتوا عم تستعملوا ماك مثل العادي اللي هو بتستخدموا الأوبشن، وإذا عم تستعملوا ويندوز بتحطوا ال Alt I think for Windows. Which one?
Yeah,
For
I think so.
Windows.
I think it was Alt. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. هلا هو عم يعمل شاشة جديدة لحتى يفرجينا كيف رح يربطهم مع بعضهم لحتى يطلع شكلها تطبيق، يعني اللي هو نموذج أولي للتطبيق نحن بنسميه.
Okay, so here I am. All I've done is I created a new frame, and I'm just it's as though you're tapping on the first item, and this is the screen that will show up. Okay, so right now we just need to imagine how the user goes through the app. And just to answer one of the questions that I keep seeing in the Q&A, do you need to code anything in Figma? No, you don't. You're just creating an app prototype using Figma. And it's not as though you're doing this, it's not as though this is something that you're just doing because it's for the iOS Design Challenge. Prototyping is something that real developers, actual professional developers, they do it all the time because it's very hard to visualize what your app is going to look like before you start coding. So they use tools like Figma, or they can use other tools, Canva, they could use pen and paper, they could use Photoshop, and they also do this kind of prototyping. So what we're going to do once I finish all 3 screens is I'm going to make this interactive. So it's going to be an app that actually runs as though it's a real app. It's not going to have all the features, but it's going to look a little bit more convincing.
اوكي، في سؤال كتير مهم انطرح بالشات اللي هو هل نحن لازم نعمل برمجة بفيجما؟ ابدا، بس هيدا اللي شفتوه هو عبارة عن تصميم وبعدين نربط الشاشات ببعض بيطلع عنا نموذج اولي، لانه نحن حاليا عم نصنع نموذج اولي للتطبيق، يعني بنصممه بنشوف شكله كيف بده يطلع، شو هي بنسميها اليوزر اكسبيرينس من شاشة لشاشة، كيف بده ينتقل من شاشة لشاشة قبل ما نعمل البرمجة، لأنه إذا بننتقل دغري بنبلش بالبرمجة بتكون التغييرات كتير صعبة، بينما لما بنعمل التصميم بهي الطريقة على فيجما على فوتوشوب في كتير برامج، وحتى أكبر الشركات اللي بتعمل برمجة بتصمم أول على فيجما أو فوتوشوب وفي برامج تانية وبعدين بتنتقل لمرحلة البرمجة. Yes, I think I missed your last part.
I think it's just, I think it was just that, yeah, professional designers use this as well. And I think I heard you cover that. Okay. So one of the things that you should try to do is you should try to make your app prototype as convincing as possible. You could have left this as a gray box. Okay, that's also a prototype, but you want your user to really understand what things are going to look like when you have content. So over here, as you can see, I tried to put in some actual text. All I did was I copied and pasted some lorem ipsum placeholder text from the internet, but you might want to put in actual information about your star map. So this is something that's going to take a bit of effort. You're going to work with your teams. You're going to have to do some research. So it's not all just prototyping. It's a lot of research and finding out, what information would really represent your app at this point.
جدا مهم انكم تشتغلوا على انه التطبيق او نموذج التطبيق، النموذج الاول يكون مقنع جدا لاي شخص بيشوفه. فمثلا اذا انتم عم تستهدفوا شغله معينه وعم تغطوها بهاي الابلكيشن، مش بس انتم بدكم تصمموا وترسموا وتحطوا اشكال وتربطوها ببعض، لا، لازم تعملوا بحث عن الموضوع، تعرفوا عنه اكثر لحتى لما تعملوا التطبيق يكون حقيقي بيحل مشكله حقيقيه.
So at this point, before I add interactivity, let me take some of the questions that have showed up in the Q&A. One of them is after opening the app on an iPhone, the app made by Figma on the iPhone, how do you make the progress saved when you close and open it the next time? I think this one thing to note is that Figma will auto-save what you're doing. So everything here is saved, but you can click over here and choose File, and you can do a Save to Version History. And what that does is it will save version 1. And you can press Save. And what that means is if you make a lot of changes, you can always come back to version 1, even though it's auto-saved. Okay, I'm not sure if that's the question that's being asked, but this I think is still useful to know.
Yeah.
Next. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
اوكي سو بالنسبه اذا انا فاتحه من ايفون انتبهوا بس تكونوا فاتحين على الويب سايت على سفاري مش على التطبيق. نحن قلنا التطبيق تبع فيجما ما كثير رح يفيدكم، افضل تروحوا على سفاري، فهو فرجاكم الطريقه للسيفنج on it will be saved يعني لحالها بشكل بديهي، هي بتتسيب لحالها. وكمان في طريقه للسيف. Can you just show how to save if it's not saved automatically? Yeah, you just click on بتكتبوا على هيدي اللي على اليسار وبعدين تختاروا فايل وبعدين save to version history. Yes.
All right. So another question is the screen is bigger than the phone screen. So I think this participant is trying to do their work on a phone. I don't recommend that. Try to make sure you're doing this on a large screen. It can be an iPad. I have seen students do it on iPad. But I think the best experience will come on an actual laptop. So a MacBook, Windows, or a Chromebook. I think those are pretty good options.
في سؤال كان انه شكل الشاشة طالع كتير كبيرة، بعتقد هيدا الشخص عم يشتغل على الايفون تبعه. نحن ما بننصح ابدا انه تقوموا بالتصميم عن طريق جهاز صغير مثل الايفون، افضل تستعملوا الايباد او ماك او ويندوز او اي شيء ثاني لحتى تكونوا شايفين بشكل واضح وتقدروا تصمموا بشكل حلو.
Okay, and I'll take one more question, which is about Figma education. So the question is, how do you verify? So I'm just going to click on this thing. It says get verified. And what it is I believe it's just a form. Oh, okay. So apparently I just got approved, even without submitting. Let me try and do this again without from a different account. So as you can see, they're very fast about approving. I don't even have an education account. So they just approved me anyway, because I think they know I do training, right? So if you click on this, it's going to ask you to log in. And if I'm not wrong, you just need to fill in the form. And if you're using your student email to log in, I think it's fairly automatic. Otherwise, I think there might be a form to fill in. Just give it a try. If you're not sure, you can drop an email to the Figma folks. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you.
YJ, I think they will send an email and then the students, they need to click the link in the email and that's it. They will get verified.
Okay, yeah, I haven't done this for a long time, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. All right. So I think what we're going to do is I think I'm pretty satisfied with the look of this app, and maybe I want to test it out. The aim is you don't just want to make nice looking screens, you also want to see how they interact, because by doing so, you are making an interactive prototype. And this interactive prototype will let you know whether you have implemented all the features. Okay, so let me show you. So first thing is I'm going to switch the inspector over here from design to prototype. Okay, you can see over here it says what device you want to prototype on. This doesn't really matter, right? But make sure you choose the same size as your design. So mine was the iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max. So I'm going to choose a iPhone 15 Pro Max, the most expensive one. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my mouse over the iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max. Somewhere on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a little white dot. This white dot, I would like you to click on it and drag it until there's an arrow, and then it's going to show up on the next screen. Okay, so let me try this one more time. So I'll do this one time and I'll repeat it again. So once you let go, what this means is it's going to say, hey, when you tap anywhere on the screen, navigate to this other screen instantly. Maybe I don't want it to be instant. I want it to dissolve. Okay, so if you've ever done any animations in presentation apps like Google Slides or Keynote or PowerPoint, this will look very familiar. It's just taking one screen and replacing another screen with it.
alright, so هلا هو عم بفرجينا على أهم نقطة بالنموذج إنه نربط الشاشات ببعضها. أول شغلة لازم تعملوها من فوق على اليمين، لازم تغيروا من الديزاين للبروتوتايب وتختاروا الآيفون اللي اخترتوه بالأول. yes, okay. هي أول شغلة. تاني شغلة، بس تختاروا البروتوتايب في نقطة بتكون من الشاشة اللي بدكم تربطوها، بس توصلوا عليها بتعملوا كليك وبتسحبوا لحتى يبين عندي سهم، وبتربطوه بالشاشة اللي بدكم تنتقل من هاي لهي. يس اوكي. بعدين بيطلع لكم شاشة تاني. هيدي الشاشة فيها خيارات، فممكن أنا تكون instant، يعني بنفس اللحظة أنا انتقل من الشاشة للشاشة، وممكن اختار بنسميه نحن اللي هي مثل انيميشن او ترانزيشن، لما ننتقل من شاشه لشاشه، مثل الباوربوينت لما تنتقلوا من سلايد لسلايد، من شريحه لشريحه بتحطوا حركات معينه. فاذا اخترت ديزولف يعني انا بدي حركه معينه تبين، ما بدي الانتقال يكون بدون اي حركه.
Okay, so now let's preview it. So to preview it, there is a run button in the top right-hand corner, a play button. So you can click on that. It's going to pop up a brand new screen where you have an actual iPhone frame. Okay, and it's going to show you your first screen. So now you know what to do. You just need to tap on the screen. You can see over here, this represents your finger, because your finger is it's not quite a cursor, it's a circle. You tap anywhere on screen and it's going to fade over to the second screen.
Okay, very nice. هلا فرجانا نحن لحتى نشوف لما ربطنا الشاشات ببعض كيف رح يبين، كيف رح يبين انه تطبيقي انا فعلا حقيقي. فاول شيء بتروحوا على البلاي بutton اللي هو التفعيل او التشغيل فوق على اليمين، تضغطوا عليه. بعدين بفرجيكم شاشة جديدة، بس بتعملوا تاب عليها، ببين عندي دغري رح تنتقل من أول شاشة لتاني شاشة، ورح يبين إنه آيفون، جهاز آيفون، رح يبين جدا حقيقي التطبيق.
Okay, so now what I want next is I want it such that when I tap on my star map 1, it actually goes over to the next screen. I don't want to tap anywhere on the screen for this. I want it such that I tap on just one item. So I'm going to go back here, and instead of using the arrow, using this circle on my entire screen, I'm going to use the circle on this particular item. I'm going to tap on this and bring it over here. Okay, so for this, I'm just going to demonstrate a different transition. And for you, you have to take a look at how your apps do things. Okay, so you need to think, okay, when I tap on this, do you think it fades? Is that what normally happens on an iPhone? If you're not sure, you can try opening an app. Try maybe open up the Photos app on an iPhone, tap on it. Does it zoom in? Does it slide in? So it really depends on what you want your app to do. People are used to certain animations, and if you get it right, people will think that your app is working perfectly fine. If you get it wrong, people will think your app is a little strange and unnatural. So you can always test this out with other people.
كتير مهم انه تحددوا طريقة الانتقال. يعني هلا هون رح نربط الستار ماب 1، بس رح نربطها بالشاشة الثالثة. ولما بدنا نحدد طريقة الانتقال لازم نحن نشوف، يعني مثلا نفتح تطبيقات تانية لنشوف كيف طريقة الانتقال، لحتى نتأكد انه الابليكيشن تبعنا مقنعة 100% وحتى عم تتحرك بطريقة مضبوطة. لأنه إذا ما كانت طريقة صحيحة، الناس اللي عم بيشوفوا التطبيق تبعكم رح يحسوا انه لا، في شيء غريب او في شيء مش مزبوط.
Okay, so let's preview. Right, if I press run again, and now what's going to happen is I can start from the beginning. I'll tap here, and if I tap anywhere else, Figma will tell me that, hey, you can only tap on this thing on the screen. So it's to give the users a hint. So now I'm going to tap over here, and okay, it slides in. I think that feels quite natural to me. But as I'm testing this, I realize I have absolutely no way of going back to my previous screen. And that's an important insight. that is something that I would not have realized if I didn't test this out as an interactive prototype. I would be designing, and I would forget, oh no, I actually need a back button. So I'm going to make a back button while we continue with the Arabic translation.
اوكي سو بعد ما عملنا ربطنا الشاشه الثالثه ضغطنا مره ثانيه على البلاي بutton لحتى نشوف كيف رح تطلع. So if we can play again. Yeah. هلا بس عملنا play again نضغط طبعا رح تاخذنا على شاشه جديده.
Need to click on this and press this.
لازم نضغط على أول شاشة لحتى نقدر نعمل البلاي من الأول للآخر. هاي أول شاشة ضغطنا عليها رح تاخدنا على الشاشة الثانية. هلأ إذا جربنا ضغطنا can you go back to the screen before? It's okay. I just want to ensure that they know this part. Yes. So إذا ضغطنا على البارت اللي تحت ما رح تاخدنا لمحل. حتى البارت اللي تحت فيجما بيعطيكي مثل طريقة انه بيصير في ضوء او لون تاني انه لا انت عامله اللينك للشاشة الثالثة من هيدا الجزء بس اضغط عليها بتاخذني. هلا شوف فقدت النموذج الاولي لما وصلنا للشاشة الثالثة. طب انا ما فيني ارجع على اول شاشة فانا نسيت اني احط زر الرجوع على الشاشة الاولى. هي اهمية النموذج الاولي بفرجيكي كيف بيشتغل التطبيق بفرجيكي الاشياء اللي مش موجودة الاشياء اللي بدها تغيير. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make the back button. And all this, we're not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm not going to make a full app, but it's going to be dependent on you to design something that makes sense. So how do you do that? I know that you all aren't professional designers. That's okay. But all of you grew up with mobile devices. You have used iPhones and Android devices from very young, I assume. And you have probably seen how these things work. So hopefully you can figure out what's natural and what's not. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and create a back button. I'm just going to make a simple one. I'm going to use a piece of text over here. I'm going to go back to design, just type a less than sign over here to pretend for this to be my back button. Okay. And I'm just going to make this such that when I do a prototype, again, I'm going to drag this plus button back to here. And for this, I'm going to have it move in maybe the other way. Okay, sorry, move out. It's going to move out the other way. All right, so now, as you can see, we're building up this web of interactions. Later on, if I have a chance, I'll show you what some of my students have made, where you can see all the different interactions on one screen.
اوكي سو هلا هو بطريقه كثير بسيطه رح يرجع نرجع من الشاشه الاخيره للشاشه الثانيه. حط بس هيدي الاشاره الصغيره وربطها بالشاشه اللي قبلها واختار if you can show the options for the yes بعدين هون اختار move out لحتى واختار السهم اللي هو هيدا السهم اللي اختاره لحتى ترجع الشاشة للشاشة اللي قبلها. Yes.
Okay, so let me just preview this one more time. So it's a good idea to just check, right? Just try it out every time you make a change. Press run and let's start from the beginning. Okay, so you can imagine how we start from here and we keep building, right? So this one comes in, this one goes out. I think that kind of makes sense. And from here, you can just keep doing the same thing because we haven't implemented the rest, but you might want to go ahead and do some more. There may be inside the screen, you can have buttons for people to add to favorites. Maybe you can have other types of navigation. You can have a tab bar down here. And there's a lot of features that you can add just for your app. So you have to start thinking about this.
طبعا هو عمل نموذج بسيط لحتى تعرفوا تستعملوا الأشياء اللي موجودة بفيجما. بس أكيد أنتوا لما تعملوا التطبيق كامل رح يكون في شاشات أكتر رح يكون مقنع بيخدم الفكرة اللي أنتوا بدكم إياها. هيدي أكيد متروكة لكم ونحن بنتوقع يعني أنتوا ناس عم تستعمل الموبايلات والأجهزة أكيد رح يطلع معكم أفكار كتير جديدة وكتير حلوة.
So I think I see a question about collaboration because many of you are working in teams. Some of you are working by yourself, and that's great. If you're working in teams, you don't need to each have a Figma. You can work on a single one because Figma is designed for collaboration. So you can see there's a big button in the top right-hand corner. It's very bright. It says share. So if I click on that, what you can do is you can invite other people to edit this file. Okay, so, or you can set it up such that anyone with the link can edit. All right. Sometimes I send this to different people and they can just come back and change it. Just be careful, of course. It's a bit like your Google Docs. If you let anyone edit it and the link goes out there, who knows what's going to happen to it.
طبعا إذا كنتوا عم تشتغلوا بالتيم فيكم كل التيم يدخل على التصميم نفسه عن طريق انه تستعملوا الشير بutton وتحطوا الايميل وتحددوا عن اليمين انه كان اديت ولا بس فيور بيقدر يشوف. والطريقه الثانيه اللي هي anyone with the link، يعني اي واحد معه هيدا اللينك. again فيكم انتم تحددوا اذا بس بيشوف او بيقدر يعمل تغييرات. انتبهوا كتير لانه يعني اذا في حدا ما بدكم اياه يدخل ممكن يغير بالتصميم. فبس الاشخاص اللي انتم مقررين انه يدخلوا تشتغلوا مع بعض بالتصميم اعطوهم الايديت اوبشن.
Okay, so that's the end of the first part, which is the interactivity. And what I want to spend a little bit of time on next is about Figma for design. Okay, so let me just switch back to my slides real quick. Okay, so just now you saw that I took just a few minutes and I made something that looked a little bit like an app, but it could look better. There were some things that maybe you realized, for example, over here, hey, the dynamic island over here seems to be covering part of it. Normally, when you have this kind of list, there's some kind of bar at the top, and that could be solved by just adding a rectangle on top. That's one way to just make it look more like an iOS app. However, there are ways to really make your apps look very convincing. And the way you do that is by using Apple's template. Okay, so Apple uses Figma as well. And that's fantastic because that means that they have resources available for you. The link is just figma.com/@apple. And if you go there, you're going to see a bunch of resources that they have for users to design apps for different types of devices, including the new Vision Pro.
اوكي. هلا هو بده يحكي كيف في اشياء بالتصميم تقدروا تستعملوها ليبين التطبيق كتير حقيقي. فمثلا هون فوق في شيء مثل ممكن يتخبى بطريقة انكم تحطوا الشكل مستطيل. في اشياء تانية ممكن انه تستعملوها. اول شغله في figma.com/@apple. هيدي فيها كتير مثل samples ممكن انه تستعملوها وتساعدكم انه تعملوا التصميم. Can you please show? Yes, exactly. So هيدي في كتير مثلا ديزاينات محطوطة بتقدروا انكم تستعملوها وتنزلوها، وهي مربوطة يعني بين ابل وفيجما اثنينهم مع بعض.
Okay, so what's going to happen here is I'm just going to show you some of these. I'm going to click on one of these prototypes and you can say open in Figma. It will copy over the entire design into your Figma library. And there's a new feature over here called pages. Okay, so this one I'm going to dismiss. And if I click on components, so this is the cover page. If I click on components, you're going to see all the different iOS designs that you can use. So for example, if you want to let the user choose a color, this is a standard iOS color picker. If you want to show Face ID, well, you can use the Face ID icon over here. You can just click on this and you can just copy and paste it into your design. Okay, so there's a lot of designs that Apple has already created. If you want to show the user what a keyboard might look like on screen, they have that somewhere. If you want to show the user a share screen, right, there's all this available over here.
اوكي. هيدي النماذج اللي حاطينها ابل فيها كل الايكونز اللي ممكن تظهر بالشاشات. فانتوا لما بتفتحوها مجرد ما فتحتوها تقدروا تاخذوا اي شكل منها وتحطوها بالفيجما تبعكم لتعملوا التطبيق تبعكم حقيقي أكثر ومقنع أكثر. يعني في شير سكرين مثلا، في what are these things؟ هودي الاشياء اللي لها علاقه بالسيتنج مثلا اللي هلا موجود. يعني اذا انتم مثلا تطبيق بده يدخلكم على السيتنجز فيكم تحطوا. فكتير في تفاصيل كمان اذا بدكم اليوزر يختار لون معين. هيدي شاشه الالوان. كتير في تفاصيل ممكن تعملوا لها كوبي وتحطوها عندكم بفيجما لحتى تضيفوها على التطبيق اللي انتم عم تصمموه ليعطي يكون حقيقي اكثر.
Okay, so there's a lot of resources available from Apple, so please take a look and please try them out. Now, you might want to have some icons in your app. So for example, if I go back to my design over here, okay, some of you, I think I saw this question, how do you make your own icons if you don't want to just use, this is the build and you can there's only rectangles, ellipses, polygons, and stars, okay? Of course, you can upload an image. That's one way, okay? But images, they might not be transparent, okay? So it'll come in a rectangle, so you won't be able to change the background color. I'm going to show you how you can upload a custom icon. What you can do is you can go online to an icon website, and here's one called Icon Monster, ICONMONSTR, Icon Monster without an E. And you can go search for some icons that you want to use. So for example, I want to use, let me search for, click here, search for perhaps stars. Okay, so, okay, so hang on, let me disable this, hang on. All right, okay, so let's say I just want to grab this star one, okay, and what you want is the SVG version. Okay, the SVG version, if you press download, it's going to save it inside here, okay, in your Chrome. And what you can do is you can just take this file and drag it into Figma. And now you have access to this file. It's a little bit small, so give me a second. Let me change back the design, and I'm going to resize it. Also, it's black in color, so you need to change the color over here to some other color. Okay, so now it's perfectly resizable. You can do anything you want with it. Maybe this little thing is going to go behind my star icon. Okay, and that's it's not bad. It's better than before. Okay, so you don't need to go to Icon Monster. It can be any website, but the aim is to try and get an SVG file, because SVG files, they are scalable vector graphics. That means that these are files that you can always just download and resize.
اوكي، سو اذا انتم بحاجه انه تحطوا رموز او اشكال مختلفه مش موجوده بفيجما، لانه فيجما فيها بس المستطيل، المربع، النجمه، فيكم بسهوله تدوروا على هيدي الايكونز بمكان تاني. فهو مثلا اعطانا اكزامبل ايكون مونستر، هيدا سامبل من ويب سايت بتقدروا تدخلوا عليه، تختاروا الشكل اللي بدكم اياه وتعملوا له سيف اس في جي فايل اهم شيء. وفيكم طبعا تدوروا من محلات تانية. هيدا another ويب سايت.
This is the noun project. The noun project.
the noun project. So هيدا ويب سايت تاني بتقدروا تفوتوا تختاروا الايكون اللي بدكم اياه وتسيبوه SVG، وبعدين بعد ما تسيبوه تعملوا له دراج، تسحبوه اوكي من فوق وتحطوه مكان ما بدكم على الشاشة. بعدين بتقدروا تكبروه وتصغروه، بس أهم شيء إنه يكون SVG فايل نوعه.
And you want to place it, you can just go over here. My favorite method is to drag and drop. Okay, but you can also go to File and Place Image, and you can go choose it from your folder. All right, but just remember when you place it in, it might be black color and you can't see it, so you need to change the color of it to be something that's actually visible.
أهم شيء إذا ما شفتوها بيكون اللون مثل لون الخلفية، فلازم تغيروا اللون لحتى تبين.
Okay, so that's those are the basics essentially of using Figma and getting started with app prototyping. There's a lot that can be done with just these basic tools. What we're going to do is we're going to make this. I think I keep seeing this question asked about whether there's going to be a recording of this. Yes, there is. If you need to come back and review what we've been through. And I'm going to make available some slides with step-by-step instructions, as well as some tutorial videos that might be helpful for you. So these will be things like how to actually edit these icons. So Figma is very powerful. You can actually go ahead and edit the icons. You can change all the way the stars look and even the shapes and everything. But this requires quite a bit of patience and a lot of learning. So, but I think some of you might be really, really into it. So these will be made available on the website as well as the LMS after the recording is available.
اوكي سو في كتير عم بيسألوا إذا في تسجيل. رح يكون في تسجيل طبعا لهيدي الجلسة مشان ترجعوا بوقتكم انتم تسمعوا الجلسة من أولها وتطبقوا لحتى يعني تتعلموا أكثر. كمان رح يحط لكم فيديوز هو تعلمكم على تفاصيل ما ذكرناها بالجلسة. فيجما كتير فيها يعني تفاصيل رائعة للتصميم، مثل مثلا تغيير الشكل. يعني حتى إذا جبتوه حطيتوه من برا بتقدروا أنكم تفوتوا بتفاصيل الشكل وتغيروه. فهو راح يحط لكم فيديوز تستفيدوا منها كمان.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions that I see in the chat. We'll try and get through some of them, but I don't think we can answer everything. Just be aware that there's a lot of Figma resources out there. It's a very popular app. It was so popular that Adobe tried to buy it about 3 years ago. It didn't go through, but it's one of those things where a lot of designers use it. So if you go on YouTube, if you go on TikTok, there are all great tutorials available if you just want to search on how to do something in particular.
يعني رح تلاقوا كتير تفاصيل وكتير فيديوهات تساعدكم على تيك توك، على بأي مكان، لأنه فيجما كتير مشهورة. المصممين كلهم بيستعملوها لأنها كتير قوية وحتى يعني جربوا شركات كبيرة يشتوها بس ما مشي الحال. أكيد رح تلاقوا أشياء كتير تفيدكم.
So I'll answer a couple of questions since we have a little bit of time. One of them is how do you undo? So sure, I think that's something that everyone will be challenged by. So you do something, you want to go back. Undo, just like in any app, is the same. Usually is Control Z in Windows and Command Z on the Mac. So for me, for example, I've made these stars look really strange because of my editing. So I'm going to press Command Z a few times. And after a while, right, they'll just go back through and now they look a little bit better because they've been restored to what they used to be.
في سؤال هو كيف فينا نرجع خطوة لورا، اللي هو الكوماند زي. اوكي بالماك وبالويندوز بعتقد كنترول زي بيرجعنا خطوتين ثلاثة لورا.
Okay, so I see a couple of questions about animations. Animations are not so easy to do in Figma, but they are possible because you can have all these transitions happen automatically as well. So back to your prototypes. Okay, so let's say I want it such that when you tap on something, so let me just exit from here. If I want it such that when I tap on this, it goes over here. Okay, instead of on tap, you could have some kind of after delay, for example. So when this thing shows up, after 2 seconds or maybe even 0 seconds, something happens. Okay, after delay, what could it do? It could navigate, or it can do all kinds of different things. You can scroll, you can open overlays, you can swap overlays. There's a lot of things you can do. I don't think I can demo everything on screen, but I need your help to explore and find out online.
في سؤال عن هل فينا نحرك الرسوم اللي موجودين، نحركها. طبعا موجود بفيجما، بس هيدا يعني منا شغله كتير سهله. بس انه هو عمل فرجاكم انه انتم لما تحطوا اللينك بتقدروا تختاروا after delay after delay وبعدين بتختاروا واحد من الأشياء اللي موجودة.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I think I keep seeing this about scrolling because some of you want to make long, big screens where you want to let the user scroll. That's doable as well. So what you want to do for that is you want to make this nice and big. Okay. So sorry, no, your frame should be the right size. Your frame should be the size of the screen. However, you want to put a giant rectangle inside it. So I'm just going to put a giant rectangle inside here, for example. Okay. And this rectangle, I'm going to move it to the background. Remember the dragging over here. Okay. And I'm going to change the color, background color. I'm just going to give it a nice little gradient of click here for red, click here for black. Okay. All right. So now if I want my thing to be scrollable, I need to click on the frame. I need to go to the design panel. And I need to find something called the overflow behavior. All right, so I don't actually remember where this is, so I need to go check. Where's my overflow behavior? Select vertical scrolling, layout grid. Okay, there's a lot of options. So
Yeah,
let me
I
just
think
see.
they will be able to find it easily.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
actually remember where it is right now off the top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think you can just go online, search for how to make a scrollable design. It is doable. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah.
So في سؤال عن التمرير اللي هو السكرولينج، كيف فينا نعمل سكرولينج؟ أول شيء بتحافظوا على الفريم، هو سايز واحد ما بيتغير، بس بتحطوا I can hear my voice. اوكي، بس بتحطوا ريكتانجل بتكبروه كتير كتير للريكتانجل لحتى يمشي التمرير. واهم شيء عندي بعد ما نختار البيج ريكتانجل بنختار اوبشن اسمه overflow behavior، هو هيدا اللي بخليكي تمرري. واكيد فيكم تعرفوا اكثر، فيكم تعملوا سيرش وتلاقوا فيديو وتعرفوا تفاصيل اكثر، لانه ما في معنا وقت نغطي كل التفاصيل للاسف.
I see a question about how to let people test out different parts of your, I think the question was, does the user have to start from the very beginning of your prototype? I usually just delete away some parts of it and then just share that prototype. But I thought I should mention here, how do you actually share your prototype? If you click here, there's a share button. And what happens is that this is different from sharing your actual app, sharing your actual Figma design file. This is sharing the prototype. So when you click share over here, you are sharing the actual design file. People can see what's going on behind the scenes. If you click share over here, all they will see is the interactive prototype. That means they can only scroll, they can only tap, they cannot change anything, they can't see all the other screens all at once. And this is something you can share to someone with an actual iPhone. And if you open it on an actual iPhone, it will actually look like an actual app on there.
اوكي، سو نحن حكينا كيف نعمل شير للديزاين، بس اهم شير البروتوتايب نفسه. بس بتضغطوا على الايكون اللي فوق اللي هو شير بروتوتايب، بتقدروا تبعتوه، واذا بعتوه لعند شخص عنده ايفون رح يبين كانه تطبيق حقيقي 100% اذا ضغطتوا على شير بروتوتايب وعملتوا شير. sorry. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
All right. So I think that's about all we have the time for tonight. For me, it's 10:45 p.m. for me, so I need to call it a day very soon. But thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions, just see whether you can find anything online, because I'm very certain that you can learn a lot about Figma online. Let me just quickly show you some of the videos that are available. All right, let me just switch over to this. Let me so here are certain videos available. This is a video about a pen tool. So this one over here. And of course, we'll send all these links and slides to you.
In this video, you will learn.
And what this video shows you is how to actually make very nice little designs. And I saw a question about how to make outlines, right? That's under the stroke panel. So you can make multiple outlines, you can add shadows, you can give it a corner radius, you can make your squares have nice rounded corners. Like all this is learnable over here. And if you really can't wait for us to send you the link, you can just take note of the name of this video. It says Master Figma Pen Tool in 6 minutes. Just go to YouTube, search for it. I'm pretty sure you'll find it. Okay.
اوكي سو هون عم بفرجينا كمان ريسورسز تاني، واذا بتحبوا تتعلموا اكثر في هيدا الفيديو بيحكي اكثر عن البن تول وعن اي ثينك الاوتلاينز، ففيكم تشوفوا هيدا الفيديو. هو بكل الاحوال راح يعمل شير لكل الاشياء اللي ممكن تحتاجوها وانتم عم تعملوا التصميم. راح يشارك معنا فيديوهات ان شاء الله.
Okay. I think there's one thing I should address. I keep seeing a few questions about making a game. So we want to emphasize that Figma is not the only tool that you need to use. Okay, so Figma is, I mean, it's great. It's something that we think is going to be really useful if you want to make an app prototype. If you want to make a game, well, you could use Figma. There are certain things you can do to maybe just show a transition between one screen to another. But if you have other things you want to use, we are open because we are not actually going to ask for your Figma file. We're going to ask you to present what you've done, but we're not going to ask you to submit your Figma file. So you can use whatever you are familiar with. Maybe some of you are really great with Canva. Maybe some of you are really great with, iMovie or other animation tools. We just look forward to seeing what you can create because we're just I think the idea is that you're making a challenge and you just need to stick to the theme, make something really cool, and from there we would love to help you make it come to life. I need to give one caveat. The Swift Accelerator program for the winners after this, it will focus on app development and not game development. So that is something that maybe you want to think about now, but not to worry, right? If you really want to make a game now, then by all means get started with that and you can figure out what app you make later on.
اوكي سو في سؤال كثير عم يتكرر عن انه ممكن نعمل العاب بفيجما. طبعا فينا نعمل العاب بفيجما، بس نحن بدنا اياكم تعرفوا انه انتم مش بس محصورين بفيجما، فيكم تستعملوا كانفا، فيكم تستعملوا اي تول انتم بترتاحوا فيها لتعطي النتيجه النهائيه اللي بتخدم الثيم تبع التشالنج اللي نحن فيه. فيكم انتم حرين، ممكن ناس كينوت، كانفا، اي موفي، اي ابلكيشن او تول بتحسوا انه ممكن تساعدكم. وهو كمان واي جي رح يكون مسؤول عن الكودينج بارت بعدين مع سويفت. اذا قطعتوا المسابقه فان شاء الله رح تكونوا معه بالبارت اللي بعده.
Okay. All right. I think that's it from me for now. Let me unshare my screen and I'll hand you back to Hannah.
Okay. All right. So now I think we answered lots of questions and answers. We answered already all of them. جاوبنا على كتير أسئلة وأجوبة. Would you like to take any more questions, YJ?
Let me take a moment to scroll through. I think one of the questions that I see is, can you make a video? Yes. Can you make a game? Yes. Again, just be aware that the Swift Accelerator is about making apps. When do you submit? All this information is on the LMS. If you don't have access to the LMS, it's very important that you email us. It's iosdesign@slwatan.ae. We will try and get you online as quickly as possible. There's also a chance that you might want to search your email inbox for the invite because we've been sending them out maybe once a week. Some of you, it might have gone to spam. See if you can find it. If you don't, not to worry. We'll try and get you online as quickly as we can.
في سؤالين كتير مهمين، انه اول شيء ايمتى موعد التسليم للتشالنج. بس بدي ارجع شوي صغيرة لانه في ديتس كتير مهمين. هيدا التايم لاين عندنا نحن التسليم التشالنج سبمشن بابريل. آخر أبريل تقريبا رح نحدد الوقت، رح يوصلكم إمتى تحديدا الوقت. هيدا اليوم لازم تكونوا عارفينه. والشغله الثانيه، اذا انتم منكم داخلين اوريدي على LMS، بليز ابعتوا ايميل للاي او اس ديزاين تشالنج، وهن بيبعتوا لكم الانفيتيشن لحتى تدخلوا على LMS. وطبعا ممكن تدوروا بالانبوكس تبعكم، لانه ممكن الايميل يدخل على السبام. Yeah, I think if we can move on. So now here we have a QR code. If you are not yet in the WhatsApp channel, please scan and you will have access to the dedicated iOS design channel, WhatsApp channel. It's very useful. So I will leave it for a second so you can scan it and join if you are not there already. All right, thank you so much. So this is the email. If you have any questions, you can email this, use this email to reach out to the iOS design team to answer all your questions. So إذا عندكم أي شيء، أي سؤال أو أي استفسار، فيكم تبعتوا ايميل ل iOS design challenge team وهن بيجاوبوكم. Thank you very much. شكرا للجميع وشكرا لحضوركم، ونتمنى التوفيق للجميع. Good luck everyone. Thank you so much.